Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the HSS Hyperion, her eyes fixed on the swirling purple nebula that masked humanity's greatest secret. The massive research facility, hidden within the cosmic storm, represented 20 years of clandestine technological development. Few beyond Earth's top brass knew of its existence, and fewer still understood its true purpose. The Aetherian Empire dominated known space, ruling through technological superiority and sheer military might. Their crystalline ships, powered by what they called cosmic resonance, were thought to be unmatched in the galaxy. For centuries, they had subjugated or protected younger civilizations, Earth included, maintaining their position through carefully controlled technological advancement of their client species. But humanity had never been good at following rules. "Commander, the quantum core is ready for the next test." Dr. Maya Rodriguez's voice came through the neural link. Sarah smiled, her augmented eyes automatically adjusting to display the test parameters floating in her field of vision. The quantum core represented humanity's greatest breakthrough, technology that operated on principles the Aetherians had either never discovered or deliberately ignored. "Begin the sequence, Maya," Sarah commanded, turning away from the viewport to walk toward the testing chamber. The corridors of the Hyperion hummed with barely contained power, a testament to how far human engineering had come. While their official ships still used Aetherian-approved propulsion systems, the Hyperion and its sister ships in the Shadow Fleet operated on entirely different principles. The testing chamber was a massive spherical room at the heart of the ship. Sarah watched through the reinforced observation window as the quantum core pulsed with an inner light that seemed to bend reality around it. Dr. Rodriguez stood at the control panel, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces as she initiated the test sequence. "Quantum coherence at 99.9%, Maya reported, excitement evident in her voice. "Field stability exceeding all previous trials." "Sarah, I think we've done it." The core's glow intensified, and Sarah's augmented vision detected energy patterns that would have been invisible to normal human sight. The quantum field expanded, perfectly controlled, ready to be harnessed for everything from propulsion to weapons systems that would revolutionize space warfare. "Log everything," Sarah ordered, though she knew Maya would have done so anyway. "And get me a secure channel to Admiral Zhang. He needs to see this." The quantum core represented more than just technological advancement. It was humanity's insurance policy. While the Aetherian Empire believed they were keeping Earth safely contained, humanity had been preparing. The Shadow Fleet, hidden in nebula and dark space across the galaxy, was nearly ready. A soft chime indicated an incoming priority message. Sarah's augmented reality display showed Admiral Zhang's face, his expression serious despite the good news they were about to share. "Commander Chen, I assume you have something significant to report." "Yes, sir. The quantum core has achieved stable coherence. We can begin integration with the fleet's systems within the month." The Admiral's face remained stoic, but Sarah caught the slight widening of his eyes. "Excellent work, Commander, but we may need to accelerate our timeline. Our deep space sensors have detected increased Aetherian activity near the Oort cloud. They're starting to push against our solar system's boundaries." Sarah felt her heart rate increase slightly, her augments automatically adjusting her body's stress response. "Sir, we're not ready for full deployment. The fleet's still in trials." "Ready or not, Commander, events are moving faster than we anticipated. The Aetherians are growing suspicious of our recent resource acquisitions. They've already demanded inspections of our orbital shipyards." "Those are our rights under the Protection Treaty," Sarah argued, though she knew it wouldn't matter to the Aetherians. "Rights mean little to an empire that views us as children playing with toys they've graciously provided." The Admiral's hologram flickered slightly. "Continue your tests, Commander, but prepare for possible early deployment. Zhang out." As the hologram faded, Sarah turned back to the quantum core, its gentle pulse now seeming more urgent. Humanity had hoped for more time, but perhaps that had been naive. The Etherian Empire had maintained its power for millennia by never allowing client species to advance too quickly. "Maya," Sarah called out, "how quickly can we replicate the core design for the rest of the fleet?" Dr. Rodriguez consulted her displays. "With the automated manufacturing systems, 2 weeks per ship, we have enough refined quantum material for 30 vessels." Sarah nodded, her augmented mind already calculating scenarios and probabilities. "Begin production immediately. Priority to the battlecruisers first, then the carriers." As alarms began to sound throughout the facility, signaling the start of mass production, Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The Etherian Empire had ruled the galaxy through technological superiority for too long. They had never imagined that their most primitive protectorate would be the one to surpass them. The game of hide and seek was nearly over. Soon, it would be time for humanity to step out of the shadows and show the galaxy what real innovation looked like. The fabrication chamber of HFY Hyperion thundered with activity as quantum cores took shape in carefully controlled manufacturing pods. Dr. Maya Rodriguez watched through smart glass as robotic arms wove impossible geometries from exotic materials, her neural interface streaming real-time production data directly to her consciousness. 3 weeks had passed since the successful core test, and the Shadow Fleet was transforming. What had begun as an experimental research group was rapidly becoming humanity's greatest military asset. Each new quantum core represented a complete departure from Etherian technology, operating on principles that the Empire's sensors couldn't even detect. Production efficiency up another 12%, Maya reported as Commander Chen entered the chamber. "The AI has optimized the manufacturing process beyond our original specifications." Sarah nodded, her augmented vision analyzing the quantum signatures emanating from the newest cores. "How many are combat ready?" 15 vessels have full quantum integration. Another 10 will be ready by the end of the week. Maya pulled up a holographic display showing the fleet's status. The battlecruiser Prometheus completed its shakedown cruise yesterday. Captain Rivera reports that the stealth systems exceeded expectations. They passed within 1,000 kilometers of an Etherian patrol and remained undetected. The news brought a slight smile to Sarah's face, though concern still creased her brow. The Etherian Empire's increased activity near Sol hadn't slowed. If anything, their patrols had become more frequent, more aggressive in their scanning patterns. A priority alert flashed across both women's neural interfaces. Admiral Zhang's hologram materialized in the chamber, his expression grave. "Commander, Doctor, we have a situation. The Etherians have announced a full inspection of Earth's orbital infrastructure. They're citing concerns about unauthorized technological development." Sarah's augments registered a spike in her adrenaline levels. "When?" "Their inspection fleet arrives in 3 days. They're bringing their newest sovereign-class battleship, the Crystal Throne. This isn't a routine check, Commander. They suspect something." Maya's hands moved rapidly through holographic displays. "The quantum signature masking on our official facilities is holding. They shouldn't be able to detect anything unusual, unless they know exactly what to look for," Sarah countered. "Admiral, what's our official response?" "The Security Council is preparing to welcome them with full diplomatic courtesy." John's hologram flickered with barely contained frustration. "We'll show them exactly what they expect to see. A compliant protectorate species working diligently with approved technology. And unofficially, accelerate everything. I want the Shadow Fleet ready to move at a moment's notice if the Etherians discover what we've built." The Admiral left the sentence unfinished, but they all understood the implications. After Zhang's hologram faded, Sarah turned to Maya. "How quickly can we evacuate the research facilities?" 12 hours to completely strip the labs and transfer all critical data to the fleet's quantum servers. Another 6 to remove any trace of our work. Maya's voice was steady, but her neural readings showed elevated stress levels. "What about the civilian research centers? The universities?" "They continue their work as normal," Sarah said firmly. "As far as the Empire is concerned, Humanity is still pursuing safe, approved avenues of development. Our greatest advantage is that they don't believe we're capable of anything more. The fabrication chamber's rhythmic hum suddenly seemed more urgent as both women watched another quantum core take shape. Each one represented a direct challenge to the Empire's technological monopoly. The cores didn't just match Aetherian capabilities, they superseded them entirely. Humanity's quantum technology operated on principles that the Empire had either never discovered or deliberately avoided. While Aetherian ships used cosmic resonance to manipulate spacetime, human vessels could fold it entirely. Where Imperial weapons relied on energy projection, Shadow Fleet armaments could temporarily rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas. "Maya," Sarah said softly, "run a complete systems check on the Prometheus. I want that ship ready to serve as our mobile command center if necessary." "You think it'll come to that?" "I think the Aetherians didn't maintain their empire for thousands of years by being careless. If they suspect even a fraction of what we've developed." Sarah's augmented eyes focused on the quantum cores, each one a testimony to human ingenuity and determination. "We need to be ready for any possibility." As if in response to her words, another alert flashed across their neural interfaces. The Aetherian inspection fleet had accelerated. They would arrive in 36 hours, not 3 days. "Well," Maya said with grim humor as she began implementing emergency protocols, "I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later if all our hiding has been worth it." Sarah watched as the fabrication chamber's activity increased, robotic arms moving with desperate efficiency to complete as many quantum cores as possible before the deadline. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, developing in secret while playing the role of the Empire's obedient protectorate. Soon, they would discover if it had been enough. The Aetherian inspection fleet emerged from hyperspace in a cascade of crystalline light, their massive vessels taking up position around Earth's orbit. The Crystal Throne, their flagship, dominated the scene, a 15-kilometer behemoth that seemed to be carved from a single massive gemstone, its faceted surface refracting sunlight in dazzling patterns. Commander Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of the Prometheus, safely cloaked in the shadow of Luna. The quantum core hummed silently, keeping the advanced battlecruiser completely invisible to Aetherian sensors. Through her neural interface, she monitored the diplomatic channels as Earth's officials welcomed the Imperial inspection team with carefully practiced humility. "Their scan patterns are more thorough than anything we've seen before," Maya reported from her station. "They're using frequencies we didn't even know they had access to." Sarah's augmented vision analyzed the incoming data. The Aetherians weren't just looking for unauthorized technology. They were searching for something specific. "They know," she whispered. "Maybe not everything, but they know we're hiding something." Admiral Zhang's hologram appeared on the bridge, his expression tense. "The Imperial Archon is demanding access to our deep space monitoring stations. They're particularly interested in the facilities near the Oort cloud." "The same sector where we detected their increased activity," Sarah noted. "Have they found traces of our supply lines?" "Possible. More concerning is their interest in our quantum physics research programs." The Archon specifically requested to interview Dr. Elena Volkov. Sarah felt her blood run cold. Elena Volkov had been instrumental in the early development of human quantum technology before her apparent retirement to academia. In reality, her public research was carefully designed to appear just advanced enough to be promising, but not so advanced as to raise Imperial suspicions. "The interview is scheduled for 2 hours from now," Zhang continued. "Elena knows what to do, but—" A priority alert cut through all communications. Maya's voice rose with urgency. Multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace. Aetherian signatures. Heavy combat vessels. The space around Earth erupted with crystalline flashes as a second Imperial fleet materialized. These weren't inspection vessels. They were warships, their weapon systems already charging. "All units, battle stations," Sarah commanded, her augments flooding her system with combat enhancers. "Maya, begin quantum core spin-up." "Admiral, I think diplomacy just failed. The Imperial Archon's voice boomed across all frequencies, translated automatically by their systems. Attention primitive species. Your attempts at deception have failed. Our deep space probes detected quantum anomalies consistent with prohibited technology development. Your world will now be subject to immediate technological regression and imperial reorganization. Resist and face extinction. Sarah watched as the Crystal Throne's weapon systems came online, its crystalline surface beginning to pulse with gathered energy. The ship was preparing to demonstrate Imperial power in the most devastating way possible. Admiral, Sarah said quietly, request permission to reveal the Shadow Fleet. Jean's hologram showed him conferring quickly with others off-screen. Granted, Commander. Show them exactly what humanity has achieved. All Shadow Fleet vessels. Execute Protocol Omega. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile as she gave the order. Maya, drop the quantum cloak. All ships, battle formation Delta. Let's introduce ourselves properly. The space around Luna shimmered as dozens of advanced human vessels phased into visible existence. The Prometheus led the formation, its quantum-powered systems coming fully online. Unlike the crystalline aesthetic of Aetherian ships, human vessels were all sleek carbon black alloys and sharp angles, designed to bend both light and space itself. The Imperial fleet's sensors registered the sudden appearance with obvious confusion. The Crystal Throne's energy discharge faltered as its targeting systems tried to make sense of the vessels that seemed to defy known physics. This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. She broadcast on all frequencies. Your assumptions about our technological capabilities are outdated. We suggest you reconsider your current course of action. The Archon's response was predictable. Impossible. No protected species could develop such technology. Your deception will be punished with maximum force. The Crystal Throne fired its main weapon, a beam of pure cosmic resonance that could shatter planets. It lanced toward the Prometheus, only to bend around the ship's quantum field like water flowing around a rock. Maya, Sarah commanded, demonstrate our capabilities. Single ship only. Minimal force. Dr. Rodriguez's fingers danced across holographic controls. The Prometheus's quantum core pulsed once, and a small portion of space-time in front of one of the Aetherian cruisers simply rewrote itself. The crystalline vessel's shields failed instantly as fundamental forces stopped working the way they were supposed to. The ship didn't explode or break apart. It simply ceased to exist in that region of space, reappearing 10,000 kilometers away, its systems completely offline. Silence fell across all communication channels. That was one ship, Sarah broadcast, operating at less than 10% capacity. We have 30 more, plus orbital defense platforms you haven't detected yet. Would you like to discuss terms for a new relationship between Earth and the Empire? The Crystal Throne's weapon systems powered down as the Archon processed this dramatic shift in the balance of power. Humanity's hidden fleet hung in space, a testament to decades of secret development and determination to break free from Imperial control. The game of hide and seek was over. Now came the hard part, reshaping the galaxy's power structure without triggering a war that would devastate civilized space. Sarah had a feeling that the next few hours would determine whether humanity's great revelation would lead to a new era of cooperation or a conflict that would reshape the known universe. The next 48 hours transformed the political landscape of known space. As news of humanity's technological leap spread across the galaxy, the Aetherian Empire's carefully maintained image of absolute superiority began to crack. The Crystal Throne hung motionless in Earth orbit, its imposing presence somewhat diminished after the demonstration of human quantum technology. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the newly revealed Quantum Communications Center beneath Geneva, watching as reports flooded in from across Imperial space. The massive holographic display showed dozens of systems where protected species had begun questioning their own technological restrictions. The Empire's grip was weakening. Their diplomatic course is in chaos, Admiral Zhang reported, his hologram joining her at the display. 3 regional governors have already requested private channels to discuss mutual security arrangements with Earth. They can smell the change in the wind. And the Imperial core. Sarah's augmented vision highlighted unusual fleet movements near the Empire's capital systems. That's where it gets interesting. Zhang manipulated the holographic display, zooming in on a massive fleet gathering. The Eternal Throne is mobilizing everything they have. 500 capital ships, including 3 sovereign-class battleships like the Crystal Throne. Maya's voice cut in through their neural links. They're desperate. Analysis of their communications suggests the Imperial Council is split. The younger faction wants to negotiate, but the traditionalists are pushing for immediate military action to restore order. Sarah studied the tactical projections. Even with humanity's advanced technology, facing the Empire's combined fleet would be devastating for both sides. The quantum cores gave them an edge, but the Aetherians had numbers and centuries of combat experience. Commander, Maya's voice carried unusual tension. We're detecting quantum fluctuations from the Crystal Throne. They're attempting to replicate our technology. Sarah's augments registered a spike in her stress levels. This had been one of their worst-case scenarios. Show me. The display shifted to a real-time analysis of the Crystal Throne. The massive vessel's crystalline structure was pulsing with new energy patterns, attempting to mimic the quantum fields they'd observed from the Shadow Fleet. They're learning faster than we anticipated, Maya reported. Their crystalline technology is more adaptable than we thought. They can't match our efficiency yet, but they're making progress. A priority alert flashed across their neural interfaces. The Imperial Archon was requesting a direct meeting, not with Earth's political leaders, but with Commander Chen herself. It's a trap, Zhang stated flatly. Obviously, Sarah agreed. But it's also an opportunity. Maya, what's the status of Protocol Omega? All civilian quantum shielding is online. The planetary defense grid is at full power, and we've successfully evacuated all critical research facilities to deep space locations. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Sarah took a deep breath, her augments automatically adjusting her biochemistry to maintain optimal focus. Admiral, with your permission, I'd like to accept the Archon's invitation, on our terms. Zhang studied her for a moment before nodding. The Security Council agrees. But we do this our way. The meeting happens on the Prometheus. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as arrangements were made. The Prometheus took up position halfway between Earth and Luna, its quantum fields operating at full capacity to prevent any possible treachery. The Crystal Throne dispatched a small shuttle carrying the Imperial Archon. Sarah waited in the Prometheus's conference room, watching as the crystalline shuttle docked. The Archon who entered was tall and imposing, their biocrystalline form catching and refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. But Sarah's augmented vision detected something else. Fear, manifesting as subtle fluctuations in the Archon's crystalline structure. You understand, the Archon's translated voice filled the room, that this situation cannot be allowed to stand. The Empire maintains order through controlled technological advancement. What you have done threatens millennia of stability. What we have done, Sarah countered, is prove that your system of control is fundamentally flawed. Humanity advanced not because you allowed it, but because we refuse to accept arbitrary limitations. And now other species are following your example. Already, we detect unauthorized research initiatives in a dozen protected systems. Your actions have sparked a contagion of defiance. You mean people are realizing they don't need your permission to progress? Good. The galaxy is evolving. Archon. The Empire can either evolve with it or... She left the sentence unfinished as new alerts flashed across her neural interface. Maya's voice was urgent in her mind. Multiple quantum surges from the Crystal Throne. They're powering up some kind of new weapon system. The Archon's crystalline form began to pulse with barely contained energy. If we cannot maintain order through tradition, we will do so through force. The Empire has existed for 10,000 years. We will not let it fall to upstart primitives who have forgotten their place. Space itself seemed to twist as the Crystal Throne activated its hastily developed quantum weapons. But humanity had spent decades perfecting this technology, and they had planned for this moment. Maya, Sarah commanded, her voice steady, execute Quantum Protocol Epsilon. Show them the difference between copying technology and truly understanding it. The battle for the future of galactic civilization was about to begin, and humanity was ready to prove that they were no longer anyone's protected species. The Crystal Throne's experimental quantum weapon discharge, warping space-time in ways its creators barely understood. But as the energy surge approached the Prometheus, something unexpected happened. The human vessel's quantum fields didn't just deflect the attack. They absorbed it, channeling the energy through specially designed containment systems. As I was saying, Sarah addressed the shocked Archon. There's a difference between copying technology and understanding its fundamental principles. Her augmented vision showed the Crystal Throne's power systems struggling to maintain stability after the failed attack. You've had decades to study quantum mechanics, but you never truly explored its potential. You were too focused on maintaining control to see the possibilities. Maya's voice echoed through the neural link. Imperial fleet is moving. 500 ships dropping out of hyperspace. Space around Earth erupted with crystalline flashes as the Empire's combined fleet arrived, their weapons charging. Leading them was the Emperor's personal vessel, the Eternal Throne, a massive construct that dwarfed even the Crystal Throne. Across the solar system, hundreds of quantum signatures suddenly appeared. The Shadow Fleet hadn't just built 30 ships. They'd constructed over 300, hiding them in dimensional pockets throughout the system. Each vessel emerged running on full quantum drives, their advanced technology making them more than a match for the Empire's numerical superiority. But humanity's true advantage wasn't in ships or weapons. As the Emperor's fleet moved to attack, Sarah activated the quantum network that connected all of human space. The technology they'd developed wasn't just for warfare. It was meant to reshape reality itself. You see, Sarah explained to the increasingly agitated Archon, while you were focused on weapons and control, we were studying how to manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe. Quantum mechanics isn't just about power, it's about understanding. The space around Earth began to shift as thousands of quantum nodes activated simultaneously. The network they created wasn't designed to destroy the Imperial fleet, but to demonstrate something far more profound. Maya, initiate the Great Translation. In an instant, every ship in Earth orbit, human and Aetherian alike, was connected to the quantum network. Through their neural interfaces, humanity shared not just data, but understanding. Every Imperial crew member suddenly had access to the complete knowledge of quantum mechanics that humanity had developed. The Emperor's threatening broadcast cut off mid-sentence as the implications became clear. They weren't just facing advanced weapons. They were witnessing a fundamental shift in how species could interact with the universe itself. Your empire, Sarah addressed both the Archon and the now silent Emperor, was built on restricting knowledge and controlling development. But knowledge, true understanding, can't be contained. Today, we're not just revealing our technology, we're sharing it with everyone. Across the galaxy, protected species were receiving quantum data packets, centuries of human research and development freely given. The Empire's carefully maintained technological hierarchy was collapsing not through violence, but through the free flow of information. The Archon's crystalline form flickered as they processed the magnitude of what was happening. You're destroying 10,000 years of order. No, Sarah corrected. We're ending 10,000 years of artificial restriction. The galaxy is ready for something new. A coalition of equals, each species free to develop and grow at their own pace. Your empire can be part of this new order, or it can fade into history. The choice is yours. Hours turned into days as the implications of humanity's action rippled across the galaxy. The Empire's grip on power crumbled not through military defeat, but through the simple act of sharing knowledge. Protected species began developing their own quantum technology, adapted to their unique perspectives and needs. The Crystal Throne and the Emperor's fleet remained in Earth orbit, not as conquerors, but as witnesses to the birth of a new era. The quantum network continued to grow, connecting civilizations that had been kept separate for millennia. New alliances formed, not based on technological superiority, but on mutual understanding and cooperation. Sarah stood on the Prometheus's observation deck, watching as ships from newly liberated worlds arrived to join the growing coalition. Humanity had achieved something greater than military victory. They had sparked a revolution of knowledge and understanding that would reshape the galaxy for generations to come. Maya, she called through their neural link, start preparing the next phase. We got a lot of teaching to do. The age of empire was over. The age of quantum civilization had begun, and humanity would help guide the galaxy into this new era, not as conquerors or protectors, but as equals sharing in the infinite possibilities that lay ahead.